Hello, how are you guys doing? Welcome back to Rule of Two Review, and today I wanted to discuss the pre-Nintendo Switch Nintendo Direct situation. So as it stands, we are currently less than 1 full month away from the launch of Nintendo's brand new console, the Nintendo Switch. It's insane, and one of the things that I've started to think about and wonder about is if Nintendo would or even should decide to address us at least one more time before the Nintendo Switch finally launches. So the bottom line is that my answer to this question is obviously yes. I definitely think they should do that. Whether or not they will, I'm not quite sure. I think there's a pretty good chance that they will, but I also think that there's a pretty good chance that they won't. It's kind of the Nintendo thing to do, is maybe not give us this last minute info or updates when we actually think that we should be getting them. There's been a couple of conversations I've seen floating around the internet the last day or so about the fact that, hey, maybe there's some more things about the Nintendo Switch we still need to know, such as virtual console information, more details on what's going to be available for the online service from the launch day before they decide to, integrate the paid situation and the mobile app later in the fall. Questions like these and other ones like it are actually pretty important, and I think that, to be fair, there are a lot of things still about the Switch that are maybe mysterious that don't need to be mysterious. And I feel like potentially giving us something like a Nintendo Direct presentation, we've got 3.5 weeks to go, I think it could potentially be a great thing for Nintendo to do to address us, like I said, one final time before they actually launch the Nintendo Switch. It's a weird scenario where we actually do know quite a bit about the console, quite a bit about the launch games. A lot of people, myself included, have even been able to get our hands on it because Nintendo is taking it across the globe and allowing fans and press and media to be able to actually play it. So they're definitely making sure that people can get some information, but there's a lot of mystery we don't know. Stuff surrounding the expandable memory, what about the OS, the online service, all these different things. The virtual console, will it exist? If so, when? What's going to be available? What consoles? What's coming soon? What's available on launch day? I mean, there's 100 different questions, not to mention even some stuff about actual games. And so, like I said, the question I was really posing to myself and also to you guys through this video is if it would be smart for Nintendo to do this, to maybe give us a Nintendo Direct a week or two before the Nintendo Switch launches, and whether or not they should or will. I really do think that they should. Part of it is just the fan in me, and it's like, hell, I just want another Nintendo Direct, especially one focused on the Nintendo Switch. We like Nintendo Directs. They always get us excited, and it was so wonderful, brilliant, and smart of Nintendo to have just less than a week after that Tokyo event, they gave us a Fire Emblem specific Direct. I thought that was really fantastic, and they actually had legitimate, exciting content and surprises and announcements to give us in that short little Fire Emblem Direct. And it's like, whoa, that is the Nintendo I want to see. Hey, you want to know about the Switch? Here's a big live stream from Tokyo. You want to know more about the Switch and more about games? Well, 5 days later, here's a Nintendo Direct focused just on one series and new games. And if they were to continue that, here's a Nintendo Direct focused on another series. Here's a Nintendo Direct focused on the Switch. Here's a Nintendo Direct focused on everything. Brand new games for 2018 games. Or maybe some previews of what's going to happen at E3. Stuff like this, I think, could be pretty smart. I think that A, it would help the momentum continue for Nintendo and for the Switch leading into the launch, and B, it could get a lot of the information out that we all actually want, and to be fair, I think that we should actually have. Now, to be fair, that really isn't the Nintendo that we know and are used to be so open and so forthcoming with information and surprises and reveals and announcements. They are one of the most secretive companies in the business, and in some ways to a fault. It's weird because that is also kind of one of the strongest qualities and strengths that I think they have, but at the same time, there are definitely circumstances where it feels like it's maybe not the best thing for them to be doing or not the best way for them to be. And I don't really think that not having another Nintendo Direct between now and the launch of the Switch is going to really hurt anything. I think it's obviously going to be the big hit that we all want it to be, that Nintendo wants it to be, that we expect it to be. So many of us have it pre-ordered. The thing's been selling out. It's going to do great, and everyone's going to probably love it. I certainly think so. But what it could do is just add more hype and more excitement, and if anything, just give us that information. I really want to know about some other games that they haven't talked about. I want to know about some of their other plans for later in the year, and E3, and 2018, and all of these different things. I think it wouldn't be a bad idea for them to maybe focus on, and I know some Nintendo fans hate hearing people say this, but too bad, you got to deal with it. I would love to see one kind of focused on a couple of third-party titles that we maybe haven't heard about that are coming to the Switch. Or maybe see some of them being highlighted and showing maybe some differences or additional content coming to the Switch versions, with stuff like Steep, Rayman, Dragon Ball Xenoverse, things like that. Skyrim, what's actually happening with Skyrim. Imagine if they had a 15 or 20 minute direct focused on that stuff, and even a couple of surprises. Hey, it turns out the new Ghost Recon or whatever is actually coming, or whatever other game, Final Fantasy 15. You know, those are the kinds of things that people do want, and it would just make us excited. But beyond even the titles, which is probably what I would prefer the most, is a game-focused Nintendo Direct before the Switch launched, I think that they really need to give us some more of these details and information that people are starting to point out, like, hey, why don't we know what's happening with the OS officially? With the shareability officially? With the Virtual Console officially? Things like this that really are important that people care about and will only aid Nintendo to share. I mean, it would only be good for Nintendo and good for the Switch for them to actually get some of this information out now, even before the console launches. So, you know, I mean, Nintendo Directs are always great. Like I said, they're so exciting, and we love to see them. And Nintendo does love to surprise us. Usually they don't tell us more than a couple of days before they actually happen that it's going to happen, which means we absolutely do exist right now in the window of time where Nintendo could surprise us and say, hey, next week, next Thursday, a Nintendo Direct focus on this, or whatever they decide. It could happen, and I do think it should happen. But it's also not that likely. I just don't know that that's the Nintendo that we know. But what do you guys think after hearing me talk about it in this short, quick video about Nintendo addressing us, maybe giving us a Nintendo Direct before the Switch, hopefully focused on the Nintendo Switch, new games, new features, final details, mysteries solved. I think that this would be really, really great for them to do. And it's really just a 50-50 crapshoot at this point, like I've pretty much alluded to in this video. It would be great. I could see them doing it. But it would also be the kind of thing that we want so much, I could see them not doing it. And it's the kind of thing where it's one of the perfect examples of how Nintendo is that unpredictable company that's always keeping you guessing and always surprising you and impossible to predict. We think it's time for them to do a Nintendo Direct, so they won't do a Nintendo Direct. We haven't seen a Nintendo Direct in 9 months and don't think they're ever coming back. Boom, there's a Nintendo Direct in 2 days. I mean, that's just what they do. And like I said, even though some of that stuff is a quality to a fault, in a lot of ways, it's kind of the stuff that we also love about them, even if you don't really, grasp that outwardly. It's the kind of stuff that keeps us coming back and keeps us interested. So, I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think Nintendo could do a Nintendo Direct between now and the launch of the Switch? Do you think that they should do it? Or do you think it's not important? And do you think that there's no way in hell Nintendo would possibly give us another Nintendo Direct focused on anything Switch related before it launches on March 3rd? Tell me what you guys, of course, think below. Thanks, as always, for tuning in. This is Rob with Rule 2 Review, and I will catch you next time on another video.